Hello and welcome back to my venture across the United States, where I visit each state and cover some of the urban legends and local mythology present in the area. Today, we're visiting Hawaii, the Aloha state, and taking a look at some of the mythology throughout. Originally adopted to the Union in 1859, Hawaii is known by most for its natural beauty and deeply ingrained native culture. However, today, we're going to discuss some of the less well-known culture that may wait in Hawaii, making unexpected appearances in the modern day. Number 1 is the Menehune. The Menehune are a race of little people, standing at only 3 feet tall, who are said to live in the wilds of Hawaiian Islands. To this day, they hide themselves far away from the touristy cities Hawaii is so well known for. Legend has it that because they're so shy, they prefer to come out at night, and that despite their size, they're quite strong and actually quite great craftsmen. Similar to many other folktale of little people, the Menehune are frequently attributed with fault when something otherwise unexplainable happens. It's said that children will often tell their parents that a Menehune did it when something breaks around the house, for instance. One of the original old folk tales of the Menehune tells of a man who, wanting to pursue his father who left his island a long time back, cut down a tree to carve a canoe. He left this tree overnight, planning to retrieve it in the morning, only to find that the tree was upright, as if it had never been cut down, only to find that it was the Menehune that righted it. A struggle ensued from this, and via a hostage situation, he was able to convince the Menehune to carve him a canoe in exchange for feeding them. Both parties kept their word, and in exchange, the man got a beautiful canoe. Now, this might seem like a fantastic folktale, but there are some more modern tales that might have you think twice about whether or not there's truth to these stories after all. Picture a Friday morning recess at an elementary school in 1929. Children were probably swinging on swings, playing hopscotch, playing tag, and generally enjoying themselves. But this May Friday morning in Hawaii at Waimea Elementary School, to be specific, had something different in store. On that day, one of the teachers saw students of all ages, children as old as 14, running out of the schoolyard and chasing something off the premises to the house of a nearby reverend who wasn't home. These children were quoting a saying, "There he goes!" and "Head him off!" When the teacher got there, he reported that students had circled the reverend's house, and many of them were even crawling underneath the home. The teacher was, of course, mortified and demanded the students return to school, but the children defiantly claimed that they wouldn't go back because they had to catch him. The teacher, of course, said, "Catch what?" only to be pointed towards a set of tiny footprints in the ground. The story doesn't end here, of course. When Hawaiian elders heard of this, they, with the help of the children, came to the reverend's home themselves to search for the Menehune. Additionally, later on down the line, every child interviewed in this encounter told a consistent story. Sadly, despite the controversy and the searches, no Menehune was ever caught on this property. Number 2 is the Night Marchers. According to some, the spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors still roam their old battlefields on the islands of Hawaii. And if you're a native Hawaiian, and these warriors are your ancestors, it's said that you'll have nothing to fear if you encounter these spirits, but if you're a tourist, it may be best to steer clear. As legend has it, if these warriors are not your long-forgotten kin, then a glance in their direction or too much noise in their proximity as they walk by pounding on drums might lead to a less than ideal encounter or even death. The Night Marchers will come forth from the ocean or their burial sites, marching together to an old battleground or a sacred location, carrying their old weapons of war. Sometimes these warriors will even be accompanied by an old Hawaiian god, and when this is going on, their torches will burn particularly bright. This legend is so pervasive that there are actually sites on the Hawaiian Islands that tourists are warned to be wary of. A few of these are the old Kamehameha battlefield, the Kamehameha School's campus in Oahu, some cities, and ancient temple sites. There are also favorite nights of the Night Marchers, Pokane and Po'akua. These are the nights of the Hawaiian god Kane, and the 14th night of the new moon, respectively. Supposedly, the Night Marchers are accompanied by heavy winds, storms, a mist, or fog, and They're usually marked by people carrying unusually bright torches in the night. If you do witness night marchers, it's best to avoid them, but if you encounter them, it's said that you can yell, "Mine!" in ancient Hawaiian to signal you are a distant relative of these marchers, and they might leave you alone. Otherwise, they say to treat them like bears and literally play dead. So what about real-life encounters with night marchers? Admittedly, there aren't many well-detailed alleged encounters with night marchers I could find online, but if you search night marcher sighting on Google, you're bound to find an account from a 100-mile ultra-endurance running race called the Hurt 100 that has been posted on YouTube, Facebook, and Reddit. In this account, a user posts a picture from his endurance race, and if you zoom in, you can see a dark, almost blue-skinned individual wearing dark clothing and watching them from the side of the trail on Oahu. This poster claims that this was a live photo they took, and that in the live photo, you can see this individual walking towards them. Despite this, in real life, they didn't notice this individual at all. Pretty darn creepy if you ask me. Number 3, Nanaue, the Shark Man. Shark Man, huh? You mean that guy from the DC movie? No joke. That guy's name is actually Nanaue, so you're not far off. Back to the real world though. Supposedly, the Shark Man dwells in caves across the Hawaiian Islands. The Shark Man is a god of sorts, and as such, doesn't have to look like its native shark form, and can actually assume the form of a human when it feels like. There are a lot of versions of Shark Man's tale, but my favorite goes like this. The Nanaue started out as a young man born of the Shark King. The Shark King told this young man's mother never to let him eat meat, but this was a hard task as in ancient Hawaii, men and women couldn't eat together. So when this young boy turned to a man at the age of 7, another ancient Hawaiian tradition, his mother would be unable to stop him. As you'd expect on his birthday, he got his first taste of meat, and the legend began to take form. When the young man tasted meat, he sprouted sharp teeth, developed a voracious appetite, and gained the ability to become a small shark. As he grew, so did his shark form. He'd eat small aquatic creatures, but occasionally he'd swim out into the ocean, and people would start to go missing in the area. Now at this point, some versions of the tale say that the ancient Hawaiians eventually caught and killed the Shark Man, but other versions of the legend say that Mr. Shark Man began living in a cave that you can still visit today, known as Makua Cave. He'd lure people into the cave in his human form, take them out, and then eat them later because apparently he enjoyed the taste of older flesh. Pretty nasty, I must say. So is the Shark Man gone, or are you going to see him today when you make a visit to Makua Cave? Well, today a lot of people say that the Shark Man still lives in the cave. You can even visit this cave. People go so far as to leave him snacks of fruit and meat, which apparently make the cave smell disgusting because they are often left out to rot, which is just what he wants, so they say. As the legend goes, if you see an old wrinkled man around the cave that's cooking or perhaps eating some of the food that's left out, or worse, inviting you into the cave, it may be best to turn tail and run away, because you never know how many teeth may lie in wait behind that old man's otherwise normal-looking smile. For number 4, we have pork and the Pali Bridge. So there's a highway, Route 61 in Oahu, known as the Pali Highway, and it reminds me of one of the classic spooky bridge stories you'd actually hear in the southeastern United States. This one, however, comes straight from a love feud between two gods, which is a bit higher of stakes than the usual bridge shenanigans going on down south. In short, one side of Oahu belongs to a Hawaiian pig god, and the other side belongs to the volcano goddess Pele. Apparently, the two had a steamy love affair once, but it didn't work out, so they split the island in two. This bridge in particular rests on the side of the volcano goddess, but because any sort of pig is part of the pig god in Pele's eyes, she does not view this nicely if you take any pig to this side of the island and over this bridge. Supposedly, if you have any sort of pork in your car, be it a hot dog or a whole pig, and you drive over this bridge, your car will break down and will remain broken down until you toss the pork out of your car. Hilariously enough, apparently the Menehune will come eat this pork later, so no need to worry about your food being wasted. Number 5 is the Iolani Palace. Finally, I thought I should include one of Hawaii's supposedly haunted places on this list. The Iolani Palace was once home to Hawaii's royalty, and supposedly they haven't left. The palace was constructed in 1882 as a home for Hawaii's monarchs under the Kamehameha dynasty. The palace is in downtown Honolulu and has recently been restored if you want to go see this spooky site for yourself. Also, fun fact, this is a National Historic Landmark and is the only royal palace on US soil. These days, there are plenty of historical activities here, but there are also activities for those that want to see the darker side of the palace's history. There are guided ghost tours that stop by the house these days. Also, guards that man the palace say that many strange things occur behind the palace doors. Grand pianos will play music when nobody is even near them. It's said that this happens around 5:30 a.m., and that sometimes even a figure can be seen playing these tunes. Apparently, if you have royal Hawaiian blood, you might even hear chanting and Hawaiian music throughout the house while you're visiting. Also, the last queen of Hawaii was imprisoned within her own palace bedroom after the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy, leading to her vengeful spirit roaming the home. It's said that she's pushed and shoved visitors on tours of her room, and that sometimes folks will even see an angry-looking woman peering out of her bedroom window. It's said that the queen gets particularly mad when visitors touch the banyan trees planted on the property, because these trees hold the spirits of those who passed within the house. Thank you all for joining me today on this short trek through the state of Hawaii. If you liked this video, ship me some fresh coconuts. Oh, and hit the like button while you're at it. If you want to see more, click on the subscribe button, and maybe one day I'll be able to visit Hawaii myself. If nothing else, next time you're driving home from work and you see a little man slip under a house, you better pull over and get your camera out. That Menehune tale was way too much of a tease, and I want evidence next time. Oh, and also, it's always story time.